Here we are entering into your physically fit room with the overarching theme of when work feels like fresh air or secondhand smoke. So we're looking through the lens as a leader and as a team member of just being that observer in your organization. Where actually are you rock stars as far as being healthy, having this really healthy culture? Where in fact do you need to be observing that there's dysfunction or perhaps some toxicity? So I'd love for you in your physically fit room is take a look at the energy currently of your culture. Do an energy budget. Take a look at where are we as far as our projects, the demands that we currently have. What is the energy? Are people fatigued? Are they burnt out? When you think of fresh air, don't you think of, oh my gosh, people are feeling energized and there's laughter and you can tell people love to be at work? Or when you think of secondhand smoke, what do you think of? You think of, burnout, chronic fatigue, people that are absent a lot. So we really need to keep a check on this. It's really, really important. So what I'm inviting you to be thinking about is monitoring that energy budget. And this is how you can do it. You can mention at your next team meeting, how about on a scale of 1 out of 10, 10 being high, 1 being low, we take a look at what our energy level feels like in this moment. No question. Remember I said last week, no shame, no blame, no shame. So this is really about being authentic and transparent. Well, my energy level right now really is a 4. It's just an opportunity for that person to check in with themselves to see what it is, where they are in their energy level. And then they can start to pay attention to the pattern. Well, you know what? I'm noticing over the last 4 weeks, I've been saying 4 a lot. So I now need to create a plan on how do I get my energy back? Do I need to have a detox? Do I need to have better sleep hygiene? This is a conversation you can easily start to instill in your team meetings. It could be, that really maybe the demands I'm having on myself aren't realistic. So remember, as a healthy team, what happens is there is this level of a well-paced team. That's what a healthy team looks like. A toxic or a dysfunctional team where it's like we're just constantly in intense mode. We're constantly in meetings. This is the culture. We're expected to do like too many meetings. We do a lot of talking, but there's not a lot of action taken. And then we all walk around feeling guilty or the imposter syndrome because we didn't complete whatever it is we said we would do at that 8th meeting. So I'm inviting you to do an energy budget. It's really, really important because that's going to indicate the level of burnout, the level of resilience, the level of conflict. Because if people's energy is low, and I talk about this in my book, The Powerhouse in You, HALT method, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or haven't had exercise. I know that when I haven't had enough sleep, and right now when we're in the midst of preparing to move, these are, there because there's a lot going on. So I know I have to be gentle with myself and give myself grace. And yes, have occasional naps and do things that are going to support me versus expecting myself to do more and more and more, given that there's lots of change and lots of things happening. So that needs to be, clearly shared at your team meeting, that there's permission, that there's grace for people to be mindful. If they're in a season of grief, if they're in a season of change, if they're in a season of health issues, that there is some grace for them to basically take a step back and not put the same amount of pressure on them. So here's some suggestions. I really want you to protect. It's so really critical that you protect that recovery time. And how do you do that? People take the lead from you as their leader. And if you're staying till odd hours, if you're on vacation and you're taking calls or responding to emails, if you are getting texts at wee hours of the morning now, please understand, if you're on call, that's a different situation. If it's a serious crisis, that's a different situation. But the dilemma is if your action as a leader is showing that you're always on, then to the team, that means I need to be on all the time. So it's really important that you, as simple things like you take a break. They see you leave the building. They see you eat your lunch in the staff room or off premises, that you're not at your desk. They actually see you eating even, if that's something you normally don't do. So there's a lot of power in your action. People will follow the action more than they will the words. So make sure you're in alignment. That's part of actually that fresh air team, that healthy culture, is when they see that in fact health and energy management is something that you're really promoting both in yourself as a leader, and you're also encouraging them. The last thing you want to do is to sort of do what I say, not what I do, right? Remember, you are a powerhouse. Please share with me. I'd love to hear how this has been helpful.